When I was on the board of PAR, I joined the board sort of April or March of 2018. And when I was there, it was pretty clear at that time, the company, I guess the view of the company people had, in my opinion, was wrong. The thesis on PAR was pretty simple. PAR was a legacy hardware and services manufacturing company that had built up or acquired a small software product that did point of sale software for large enterprises. It was maybe 5 or 6 million of revenue out of a total revenue of 175 to $200 million. And so when I joined the board, the idea was, hey, we have a guy that has some expertise in software and technology, and that'll help us grow this software business. And so that was the idea. It was like an old value thesis. Oh, there's this older business here, but underneath it is this high quality asset. And I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do, and it'll be great. But within a couple of months, it was really clear we were not going to be successful in that journey. First and foremost, that product that was growing very quickly, that special software product, was falling apart. The customers were unhappy. We had dozens and dozens and dozens of different versions of the product. And so that made it unwieldy to manage. I remember our customer CSAT was like -90, our customer NPS was -50 or 60. And so the product had great potential, but it just wasn't being delivered on. And then I looked at the employee side. The employee NPS was -50 or 60, so the employees weren't feeling it, the customers weren't feeling it. Then we had 2 activist shareholders coming in demanding a sale. And then we had the DOJ and SEC inside the company, investigating the company for things like bribery and corruption. Our prior CFO went to jail for stealing money. It was just a really big mess. And it's my belief that you can't really build something significant if you're distracted. And these are big problems to solve. It's very hard to turn an enterprise software product. These aren't things that can turn on a dime. It's very hard to change a culture. And it's very, very hard to do it when you've got a hardware team running a software business. And so I pushed to sell the company pretty much 2 months after joining the board. We didn't sell. We hired a recruiting firm to go find a new CEO. We found a couple candidates, and honestly, in the end, I think none of them really wanted the gig and probably weren't the best fit because we were a company that was under DOJ and SEC investigation. We didn't have a ton of money. It was a messy situation. And so the founder of the company was on the board at the time. For a few months, just kept saying, why don't you do it? You know this business. You get it. You got the energy, the excitement. Maybe you can turn it around. And I had honestly very little interest in doing that because I was living in New York City. PAR is located kind of in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. And I didn't really know the end market that well. And I was enjoying my time trying to pretend I was an investor. And fast forward a couple months, it became really clear to me that the management team at the time was not going to be able to get the company sold. So one thing I skipped was once we kind of gave up trying to find a new CEO, we did put the company up for sale. And when it became clear that the company wasn't going to get sold because the current management team was just having trouble getting it sold, I said, okay, I'll come and do this because I used to be an investment banker. I can get the company sold. It won't be that hard. And we already had made management presentations and stuff like that. And so I got to the company thinking it'd be a light gig and I'll go do this for a few months and then go back to my life in New York. But the first day, we discovered that we were going to have to put a going concern notice out to the exchange because we didn't have enough money left. I think if you look at our balance sheet at the end of 2018, we had $3.4 million of cash. For anyone that follows public companies, $3.4 million is not a lot of money for a company that had $15, $20 million of working capital needed throughout the year and was burning money. So it was like a, oh my God moment. I'm not going to be the CEO of a company that gets sold. I'm going to be the CEO of a company that might go the wrong way, and I'm going to need to figure out how to get out of this. And so it ended up being the luckiest moment of my career because it forced me to dig in. And so really quickly, as the management team and myself were able to kind of jump in, create a new vision, a new mission, and really, really kind of restructure the business, all with the hope that the company would eventually get sold. It was never with the intent that we'll be here forever. But in that journey of building it and turning it around, and it was crazy. We were dealing with the SEC, the DOJ. We were unfortunately terminating tons of people, restructuring, all while trying to create an excitement, a mission, a vision to what we were building. I started to get pretty convicted on this idea that software was eating the restaurant and that the restaurant didn't quite realize it yet. And I thought the way that investors, VCs, the customers were going about it was going to fail. And I thought we had a different plan. And so I kind of started to get excited. And then lo and behold, the bankers came back and were unsuccessful in finding a buyer. But they said, hey, if you wanted to stick around, we will find a way to get you funded. And so that's what we did. And that's kind of how I got there. So again, it was never planned. I really never had the intent to stay. It just kind of happened.